Welcome to Hagmann. It is Tuesday, July 7th, 2026. I'm Doug Hagmann. With me is Randy Taylor. We're going to be going into a lot of things today. I'll tell you what. Thanks for joining us tonight. And thank you for your belief and your trust in this platform. The reason? Well, not only do we have lives, but we have missions outside of this podcast, outside of this broadcast. Like what? What are you guys doing? Well, that's for us to know. No, I'm kidding. This brings me to a very serious point. What we're doing is, I'm very proud to be in somewhat of a supportive role or a colleague, if you will, with shatterops.org, savethem.org, and Vets for Child Rescue. Now, Vets for Child Rescue, they're on boots on the ground, go in and, I'll tell you what, save the kids. And to an extent, so is Shatter Ops. Now, Save Them is the international part of the international, or the group that handles the international trafficking. And, it's interesting because we have gotten emails like, what difference are you guys making? You can't save everybody. No, we can't. We can't save all the children. But you know what? The ones we do save, the ones we are able to make a difference in their lives are changed. So hey, if one child, 2, 15, 16, get saved from abuse. That's pretty good, I think. Which brings me to point number 4. How many people have been in Hampden, Ohio? Are you familiar with Hampden, Ohio, Vinton County? How about the Siders family, Siders? Folks in the chat, have you heard about this case? Just saying. Look, just saying. To give you an example, not all cases of child rescue are trafficking by the very definition of trafficking. A lot of it is intra-family. One of the worst cases I've ever seen in my life. Folks, have you seen this? Eric the Tech, did you pull anything up on the public end about that? Folks, watch this. Watch this. Listen to this.
New details after investigators found 16 children living in what Ohio's Attorney General called some of the worst conditions he's ever seen. Candace Hare joins us live now with some new developments in this heartbreaking case. And Candace, heartbreaking to say the least.
That's exactly right, David. Good morning. And investigators say that the children in that home range from just 18 months old all the way to 18 years old. And they were living in conditions that Ohio Attorney General Andy Wilson described as deplorable. Most of the children all living in one room inside of that home. And several of those children were in need of immediate medical attention. Now, what we've learned from our sister station in Columbus, WBNS, is that the investigation began Tuesday evening when officers served a search warrant at the home in the village of Hampden that was not related to those children. But when they found them, they immediately took action. 16 children were removed and 4 family members were arrested. Investigators say 7 children are hospitalized in Columbus, including 2 who had to be flown to those hospitals. All 4 suspects were arraigned in court and remain in jail on 17 felony child endangerment charges with bonds set at $300,000 each. Attorney General Andy Wilson says the smell inside the home is still lingering with him, comparing the conditions to those in a third world country.
I've done these types of cases for a long time. I've been in incredibly poverty-stricken areas in the inner city. I've been in poverty-stricken areas in rural Ohio, and I've just never seen anything like I saw today with respect to those kids.
Now, in that news conference, the Attorney General also said that they believe that had they waited just 24 more hours, that this may have been a death investigation.
All right. I don't know if that's where it cuts off, but it gets worse. Let me just say this, okay? The investigation did not start with a search warrant. Also, I'll say another thing too. You know, we're working on. And folks, you guys know this. I've mentioned this before. I'm working on an endangered, at-risk 70-year-old female. The man, the I don't know how many people need to hear this, but the police, with respect to children, like you saw with the Siders family, the prosecutors, they need to. They need to get their heads out of their collective asses. Yep. All right. I am so sick and tired. 2 hours today. 2 hours arguing with a detective today about one specific case here. And I wish I could show you the photo. I can't show you the photographs. I just can't. But if I could, I would. To describe what... man. But here's the thing. Thanks to you, those who support this platform and this broadcast, you allow us to do this work. And I got to tell you something. You know what really warmed the cockles of my heart? Did you know my heart has cockles? Seeing Randy Taylor in person. Again, finally.
Yeah, because we don't get to see each other.
Yeah,
often.
Come on board. Yeah, he's like the bionic man right now. Okay? At least that's what he looks like, from the waist down. Bionic man. Yeah. Not really, but you know what? I expect him to what was that? The opening of the Bionic Man?
Steve Austin, astronaut.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, and I'll tell you something, okay? Folks, there's obviously you and I, Randy Taylor and myself, arguably, perhaps this might not be the truth, but there is very few international issues that we can have an impact upon, with which we can have an impact. With which we can, whatever. Okay, you get that. Upon which we can have an impact. How's that? Shades of my 6th grade English teacher, sister Maria. Yeah. But saving children or rescuing children or getting children out of those kind of environments where you have interfamily sex, you have inbreeding, you've got they get passed around to their. I'm not going to. I won't tell you all the bad stuff, right?
Prostituted out,
and it in a sense, okay. And a lot of you follow true crime. I do know that. And a lot of you know about Summer Wells, that just, oh, yeah. I wasn't familiar with that case until I started, until recently. It's been 5 years now. And I just, I don't know. But again, our deepest thanks, because again, not only are you keeping us on the air, but you're also underwriting the expenses of all that. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you something. The toll it takes, the financial toll it takes, is significant. So, Shatter Ops, fantastic organization. Save Them, fantastic organization. And I'm going to put the links to those two, and Vets for Child Rescue, of course. Links to those 3 organizations in the program description box. And you folks can visit their websites and see what they do. Fantastic people, really the greatest people I know, along with Randy Taylor, Eric the Tech, and you folks. So anyway, so Randy Taylor. It was great to see you.
Anybody that's saving the children or supporting that is a good person.
Absolutely.
And the kids need it. They've turned into a currency for the evil people and the satanic people and the elites. And it's got to stop. And like Doug said, if you save one, If you save 3, if you save 5, I say like we did with counterterrorism, if we save 1,
Right.
it's worth
That's
it.
right. Yeah.
But there's thousands and thousands of these children that just vanish. There's thousands of like with the Clinton Foundation. You know, it just seems like they go into these countries and say they're there to help the kids, and those kids just vanish.
The Clinton Foundation is so interesting now it's kind of morphed, RT. It over the years it's kind of morphed. It's almost like it's odd the way it has adapted.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know the thing that people, and I just want to mention this because this is something you and I did not talk about, but if you go back to when Clinton was the governor of Arkansas, think about what he did with the CIA and drugs.
Mm-hmm. That happens to be the time I was in the military.
Okay. That's right. So now, Hillary Clinton and the Clinton Foundation and Bill Clinton, this is what, in my view, is what's happening. In my opinion, professional opinion, but again, based on research, is kind of like it went from drugs to children.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same trade, different currency. That's all that changed, Doug.
Absolutely excellent statement. And that too, you know, it's Bill taking from his own stash, his own supply. If you think about it.
Yeah.
You know, and how many people? Go ahead.
Bill would stick his dick in anything.
Sadly, and Hillary,
she's just as bad. She's in the middle of it, and I don't give a damn what she says and how much she criticizes other people. She's a real piece of garbage,
and which overlaps. And folks, you know, look, this overlaps. This is never ever. RT, this overlaps into all international affairs and domestic affairs because you have Wiener, the laptop. You've got Huma Abedin in Wiener. Yes. You've got Hunter Biden and all of that.
And these are all people that are publicly criticizing Trump.
Of course.
Very heavily verbally and accusing him of sexual improprieties when we know that their whole past is loaded with sexual impropriety.
Yeah.
We know it.
And, you know,
and nobody calls them out on it. That's what floors me. And how many children went missing under Biden's administration through immigration and customs?
450,000 is one of the numbers being tossed about. I think it's much higher.
Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. That means they were being brought in and turned right over to the smugglers and to the oh man. These are babies, man. These are kids. These could be your kid, my kid. This shit's got to stop. It has to stop, and we've got to stop it.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. This is not an easy fight. This is a hard fight. It's a hard fight because the judicial system doesn't necessarily work with you very well. And I know with Craig Sawyer, when he goes after somebody, and I know there was a problem in Tennessee, he gets somebody in the media, starts blasting him.
Oh, that Tennessee thing is bullshit.
Defending the culprit.
Yeah.
Which is complete shit.
I'm going to tell you, the folks, you and I mean, RT, okay, we've both seen things and are involved in things either directly or in a supporting role or at the periphery of these kinds of investigations. And, you know, the reluctance of the police, number one, and number two, the prosecutors. Folks, you have to understand, the prosecutors really head the investigations within the counties. Okay, the police in an investigation of this magnitude, you think of the Sider family. Okay, well that's kind of an easy, not an easy one. It's a no-brainer. But if there's any kind of influence, like if there's any reference of, it's kind of a organized, even satanic, has a satanic element to it, they're not going to touch that. But what's happening today is the prosecutors won't touch cases that they feel will be like a political, they'll have any political flavor
or ties back to one of their supporters.
Exactly. Thank you. Yes.
They're compromised. These people are compromised.
That's right.
And how do those are the people you need spearheading this.
Yeah.
This has got to stop. This is a nationwide, this is an international problem. This is so big. People don't understand the abuse that's going on of children that are not grasping it.
And I'll say this, for as much as I have really said against the FBI, the FBI is actually stepping up better than a lot of the county and state officials or the state prosecutors at the county level, which is good to see. But on a lighter note, though, RT, again, it was great to see you, and I even got to, shall we say, cook for the guy.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, huh?
I thought it was outstanding. One of the best meals I've ever had. This man is quite a cook.
Yeah. There you go.
Quite a cook.
I was fishing for that compliment,
Well, you deserve it.
Yeah, it's cool. All right. Yeah. Grab some ribs and
best. I'll tell you what. He didn't even use an outdoor cooking device. He did them inside, and they're one of the best ribs I've ever had. And I'm a Southern boy. I've had some ribs. They were fantastic. Fantastic. And that's without a ton of barbecue sauce. We're talking, a lot of places rely on their barbecue sauce to make their rib what it is.
The ribs are merely a conveyance for that, right?
Exactly. Doug doesn't do that. And I'm telling you, he used the right rub, barely used any barbecue sauce. And I'm telling you, they were perfect. They didn't just like mushy fall off the bone. They were the ones that gave you just the right resistance when you pulled the bone out.
Texture is important.
It was good.
All right. That's right. And so it was ribs and you know what? Hey, I've done quiche and I love to make quiche, specific quiche. I did show you a picture of that, but you didn't have any of that. But anyway, no, it was nice to meet, or not meet, but
it was good to get our families together, and we don't get to do that often.
No, we don't.
And thank you to the people that made that possible.
But that was a case of being able to work and visit, and it was kind of like a wow! It went by so quickly, and I want to thank everyone for your support.
Thank you to Eric who got me to a fireworks show, and it was fun. We had a lot of fun.
Meanwhile, we were making fireworks of our own that night, but we traded off. So anyway.
The dog almost had heat stroke, but we had a good night.
Ranger.
Yeah, Roger Ranger.
Ranger would. We should. You know what? We should have taken pictures, but pictures.
We're so used to not taking pictures when we're all together.
Anyway, no beef or pork. It was. I prefer beef ribs. Okay, I'll just leave it there. That's my preference. But as to the exact menu,
it was good.
Yeah, all right,
very good.
Anyway, all right. Sauce is king. Well, yeah. Yes,
I saw my daughter eat stuff. I didn't even think she liked, and she was like, "Oh, this is good." Like, okay, cool.
That's right.
It was a great visit.
And you know what?
Fantastic.
The thing too is when you cook for yourself, folks, this is something that I believe everyone should really kind of, when you cook for yourself, as opposed to going out to a restaurant or something like that. Number one, the food is better. Number two, you know what you're getting, and it's made in a clean environment, sterile. Hopefully, it is anyway. And the value, it's a whole lot less expensive.
Oh yeah.
You know. So
Yeah,
anyway,
definitely.
all right. So anyway,
And we call it a labor of love.
labor of love. That's right. And you know what? To offset, and this is a thing that a lot of people don't get. RT is we have kind of our sense of humor is kind of necessary. Sometimes you know when you're dealing with dark stuff.
It's different, man. We have to be that way. Think about it. All the crap we've seen, our sense of humor is a little different.
Yeah, people, the wives look at you like,
Yeah.
But
I mean, we're not so bad. We'd set a sandwich on the person during the autopsy. We're not that bad, but
no, that's no.
Don't say it, Doug.
liver and onions. Anyway, no, I won't. All right. So anyway, so thank you all. But again, you know, a lot of work was accomplished, and some smiles as well as some.
And you folks make that possible. Thank you. I thank you personally. It's great to see my friend.
Yeah, it was good. I'll tell you what, it was fun. So I was looking at this. What is this? Let's see. I just want to see something here. Hold on. So somebody had posted a link in the chat. We're going to talk with the chat too. Okay. There is a Eric the Tech in the chat. Prepper22.com. What will you do when the lights go out and stay out? You know, this has been, and this is a link to the Urban Survival Handbook. Folks in the chat, you can access it yourself. But you know, this is stuff that we all need to really, I think, be thinking about. RT, you know, because I do sense that we are going to have some issues.
Things are going to get real here pretty soon.
Yeah,
I really feel that. People are tired, Doug. You know what? People are getting tired, and it's going to explode. The whole deal is going to come apart. I know that, and that's Canada and U.S. Canada right now is falling in the same footsteps as the U.K., which is a disaster. We just read a thing here where there was a thing out in Western Canada. A group of young ladies got separated from their tour group. They were down by the water looking at something, and a group of Muslim men attempted to sexually assault them. And one of the girls got cut up pretty bad. This is what we're facing. Okay. I'm noticing more too throughout the U.S. I'm seeing more and more Muslims and East Indians. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a problem. The Muslims are definitely a problem. Everywhere, worldwide. They're not here to assimilate with us. They're here to conquer us. We've got a real problem in Texas with mosques going up like crazy. And I read a thing where Abbott, apparently, and I haven't checked the source on it, but Abbott's, there's some questions about some of the financing he receives that needs to be looked into. So I'm not going to say any more on that subject until I've had a chance to look into it. But things that are going on in Texas would lead me to believe that are some improprieties in the government. The Muslims have really got a foothold there, and that's a problem. Once they get that foothold in Texas, there are going to be chunks of that border are going to open up, and these people are going to start pouring in again. I don't care how hard Border Patrol thinks they're going to work. I'm just telling you, the problem is becoming monumental. We've lost major cities now to Muslims. New York City, Minneapolis. We've lost them. I understood that somewhere in Pennsylvania or New York, may have been New York, a Somali flag got hoisted on the 4th of July. That's a problem.
Wait a second. Say that again. What happened?
A Somali flag was hoisted.
Yes. Go ahead. Continue.
That is wrong. That is wrong. This is the United States of America. Okay? And these Muslims, they need to go. And I don't give a shit how it happens. They need to go. Ladies and gentlemen, you are staring death in the eye, and we're not realizing it. People have got to get serious about this. And you need to do it locally, and you need to send the message however it needs to be done. Patriots, you've got to get together. Things have got to start happening. Donald Trump can't do everything on his own. And obviously, law enforcement's been compromised. They're afraid to speak out against a Muslim because they get in trouble. Ladies and gentlemen, we've really got to get together locally with, I don't care if it's with your groups, with your militias, figure out what needs to be done and do it. I'm sick and tired of this crap. This has got to stop. We are being invaded. If this was 1941 and these were Japanese, would we have let them just come in like this? No. Would we let the Germans just come in like this? No. These people are worse. These Muslims are worse. They've got to go. And I mean that. I mean that wholeheartedly. We've got to get serious about this.
Okay, in the chat, I want to address something because you hit on something here with respect to the Muslims. In 2005, we together, Randy Taylor, myself, some other team members, we conducted surveillance of the Muslims of the Americas, Jamaat al-Fukra, in the Catskill Mountains. Somebody had, forgive me, I'm trying to see who posted this, and let's have a conversation about this.
Yes.
Because
that was 20 years ago.
That 22, 21, and 20, correct. So it was a 3-year investigation. And who was the one who said this? Who brought that up in the chat? Well, I'm looking at the chat right now. Why am I not seeing this? Okay, it was Peter Skull, 67. So okay. So Peter Skull said, was mentioned about the Catskill Mountain Muslim compound, and I responded back. We did the initial investigation on that, and then he wrote back, or she, or Peter Skull, I'm sorry, wrote back. Yes, that's the first thing I thought of. It was on Al Schoen's show. I will see if I can get him to call you. Please don't. It's fine. I mean, not because there's anything between Alex and I. Heck, I'm fine with Alex, but it's at this point, RT. I mean, everything that we have said or that we can say, we have said, right? I mean,
Yep.
we did the investigation of Jamaat al-Fukra, and of course,
which incidentally got a fatwa put out on Doug.
Yeah, Sheikh Mubarak Ali Jalani from Pakistan.
Yep.
Actually wrote a fatwa, authored a fatwa, published it, and put it out on me.
That's the guy who murdered Daniel Pearl.
Well, now the FBI says, no, not so fast. He didn't murder Daniel.
He was behind it.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what the FBI says. He was behind it.
Yeah.
So it was real serious when he put a fatwa out on Doug.
Yeah, he actually, of course, Pearl, the Wall Street Journal reporter, was beheaded. And many people think this is old news, but it's not really old news. It's news that no one paid really attention to back in, actually in the 80s. In the 80s, this Islamic group was designated as a domestic and foreign terrorist organization, Jamaat al-Fukra.
Yep.
And they were responsible for, I think, 3,000 almost bombings and murders in the U.S. and Canada.
Yep. Very active.
So we provided, and just again for the people, just if anyone new is listening, we conducted about surveillance over the course of, I think, 13, 14 months. We provided all the information to the FBI. We had videotape, back then videotape, taken surreptitiously from the wooded areas in the Catskill Mountains in New York State. We had everything was fine until we were compromised. And how we found out we were compromised is we had an AK-47 stuck in our noses or faces, basically, in the woods. And that's how we realized that, hey, the jig was up in terms of covert surveillance.
And here's the crap of it. They ended up getting police protection.
Hell, police, sheriff, and
Yeah.
FBI protection.
Yeah. These people, a terrorist organization, ended up getting, to where you couldn't even get back into their compound. They had the cops out there to stop you. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's the problem, ladies and gentlemen. We can't count on law enforcement.
We turned over. Well, actually, we didn't.
And I backed the blue. I backed the blue.
Yeah, no, I do too.
I'm the first one. But in their orders, they're told to appease the Muslims. They don't even want to tell you it's a Muslim in a police report. I'm serious.
No, I know.
Especially in Canada, you'll see a murder, and they won't put a name in there. They won't even describe the person.
No.
But we find out eventually that it was a Muslim, and it's all the time, East Indians and Muslims. It's unbelievable what is going on in Canada and in the United States. It's unbelievable. I cannot believe that they've allowed the citizens to be compromised like this. You look to your government to protect you, and they're not. And if your government's not going to protect you, then guess who it falls on? You. We, the people. Yeah. And I'm trying to push that on X. I'm pushing it. I've got a nice picture. We, the people. That's what it boils down to. When some asswipe puts up a Somali flag, takes the American flag down, and runs a Somali flag up the pole, guess what? Patriots, you need to remind them that this is the United States of America. I leave that to you. But that shit shouldn't be going on. No, I'm done. I'm so fed up, Doug.
I hear you, bro.
I am so fed up with this crap.
Eric the Tech.
I was in the military, and we spent all those years protecting this country, and they're doing this. That just pees me off no end, man. These people, in New York City, we had 3,000 of our people died there. Who the hell voted these idiots in? We can't have this. And the communists and the Muslims are together. Please be advised. They're working together. Yeah. And we have legislative people that are part of this. Hell, the Democrats are now admitting that they're basically socialist and communist. This is getting ridiculous. Something has to change. We are the last thing stopping the whole world from basically going to hell. The United States is the last thing. People email us all the time and say, please stop these people. That should mean something. That's a warning, because they're living in communist countries and they're emailing us saying, please, you got to stop this. This has to end.
Indeed, it does.
Good problem. Start looking around. Okay, no, I'm sorry.
I think no, that's fine. I think I don't know if you can hear or if my audio or video is distorted, but I think I've got too much of a load going on here. But no jokes about that. Eric the Tech, I did send you a communication about we were talking about the Islamic entrenchment.
Yeah.
Okay, and Dr. Paul Williams and I think I was guest hosting InfoWars. Well, I think this is the MP4. I think this is the video from when I was guest hosting InfoWars. And Dr. Paul Williams, the author of Islamberg, or The Day of Islam, which is a compendium, or really a great investigative report of this book, about the Muslim infiltration in the U.S., and just a tremendous guy. And he and we met in back in 2008. We met in Toronto, and there was a nuclear threat. There was a whole big thing with the Islamic infiltration into Canada, into the U.S. And make a long story short, we had we did a lot of investigations in 2008, and then we had spoken again. I think it was in 2017, 2018, and then again more recently. But this is from, I'm not sure exactly when this is from. Eric the Tech, are you able to play that? He was from the North 40. Would a Rumble link be easier for you or not? Oh, it's queued and ready. Okay. So, RT, with your permission.
Yes, sir.
Should we play this, do you think? Paul Williams? Okay. I think it's like 8-9 minutes long.
Listen, we've got to get serious. Yes, put it on.
All right. This gives you...
Over the next few weeks, I want to focus on this Islamic problem.
Okay. And I do too. Now, I think, please forgive me, and I hope this is the discussion that Paul and I had that covers the very thing that we're experiencing today. I believe that to be the case. Okay, so that's why that made me our conversation made me think of this. So apply this to what's going on today.
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead. And it's 8, I don't know, however long it is. We'll just play it. I'll tell you what, RT, if you want to pause, yeah.
It's important. Let's do it. If I need to pause it, I'll holler at you.
All right, here it is, folks.
He would recruit jihadis, or people who wanted to take part in the jihad of African Americans, all, and ship them to Pakistan. And later, the CIA discovered that it's much more cost efficient to train these people in the United States. So the CIA set up these training camps.
Is that from the start? My apologies. Is that from the start, brother? You sure? Are you sure about that? All right, my bad. Go ahead.
Islamberg and training camps throughout the country for Jelani.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
Our guest right now is Dr. Paul L. Williams, and of course, he's the other half. You heard Pastor Rodney Howard Brown. Paul L. Williams is the co-author of The Killing of Uncle Sam, which is available at the InfoWars store. Get it via Infowars.com. The Killing of Uncle Sam. Reserve your copy now. This is going to be coming out next week. It's an incredible book, I just have to tell you. But the other side of this, the other assault against Uncle Sam and against our nation, is being discussed now with Dr. Williams. Dr. Williams, we're talking about Islamberg. We're talking about the Muslims of the Americas. We're talking about paramilitary training by Islamic, in my view, personal opinion, based on my observations, terrorists in the United States. Where we left off, of course, we're talking about the investigations both you and I did.
Yes, Doug. At Islamberg, after I followed up on your original visit there, your lead, I interviewed several people from Islamberg, and I found out that at the end of their training, they all were going to Pakistan. They all went to Pakistan. I'll tell you my major finding at the end of this. But they came back with Pakistan. The settlement there at Islamberg, outside of Hancock, New York, is now filled with Pakistani women. They practice polygamy there, of course, and the African Americans who are recruited from the prison system and trained at Islamberg, after their basic training, they're deployed to Pakistan, and from Pakistan they enter Afghanistan and they fight with the Taliban. Now.
Dr. Williams, how can that be? How can America be host to paramilitary training compounds. Doesn't the FBI know? Doesn't the CIA know? Doesn't our government know?
You and I know. We both reported this to law enforcement agencies. I worked with the FBI for years. I worked for the FBI for years. And I reported to them. I reported to the state police. I showed them the pictures, everything else, and nothing happened. The residents up there, as you know, you interview them too. They're scared witless about, from the activities and the explosions that they hear from the camp. They've called the police. They've called the FBI, and nothing is ever done. Well, this is what I discovered. These people go to Pakistan, and they receive further training, and then they go from Pakistan into Afghanistan and fight with the Taliban. Now, I couldn't understand that for the longest time, and then finally it hit me.
This is my car, by the way.
The whole thing is a CIA operation. Jelani himself professes to be, when he was in New York at the Yassin Mosque, and I went there as well, in Brooklyn, his followers, they all believed he was CIA. And many of the operatives, the jihadis that were trained at Islamberg, including Clement Rodniel, who was instrumental in the first attack on the World Trade Center in 1993, they all believed they were working for the CIA as well. And what happens is what I discovered is that the CIA set up these camps beginning in 1979. They brought Jelani and Blind Sheikh Rahman from Cairo to the United States to Andrews Air Force Base on U.S. military transports. They were taken here by the CIA. Jelani for a couple weeks received training from the CIA at Langley, and then he was dispatched to Brooklyn to recruit African Americans for the Great Jihad against the Soviets in Afghanistan. So, in the beginning, his efforts were confined to Brooklyn, and he would recruit jihadis, or people who wanted to take part in the jihad of African Americans, all, and ship them to Pakistan. And later, the CIA discovered that it's much more cost efficient to train these people in the United States. So the CIA set up these training camps, including Islamberg and training camps throughout the country, for Jelani. And this went on for 10 years. That they were training people for the Great Jihad to take part in the Soviet-Afghan war in Afghanistan, which made sense to fight the communists, and we could kind of believe that there was some necessity in that. But this is what really bothered me for a long time, Doug. At the end of that, at the end of the Soviet-Afghan war, the CIA continued to fund Jelani and continued to to work with Jelani to create more and more of these paramilitary camps throughout the country. Some in Georgia, some in Texas, some in California, some in the Midwest.
Can you pause that for a second, Eric the Tech, and drop that down, and then RT, you and I just want, because now some people said, well, this is old, okay, and it is old, but here's the thing. RT with Epic City, with these compounds, these residential housing areas. And folks, if you live in a city, here's what to look for, because RT and I, we've done this investigation. If you've ever gone into, or if you've ever lived in or around an urban area that has a known area for drug sales, if you're not known to the area and you go in at, really any time, but especially after dark, there are people that will announce your presence to the dealers and to the people doing things within the area. Okay. So when Randy Taylor and I went into these various areas to do our initial operational survey, or pre-operation, or prior to the surveillance, we wanted to do some assessment of the area. Mm-hmm. So what we found would happen is, and this was 100% of the time, we would go into an urban area, and we would be identified as foreigners, or as we didn't belong there, and everyone would be warned. The Muslims would warn other Muslims.
Oh yeah, they'd see us and call in on the rooftops.
Right, and there were lookouts.
As soon as we rolled in the neighborhood.
Okay, right, exactly. So now, in Buffalo, for example, this is one of several places that we did lengthy investigations. The mosque was the center of operations. In 90% of the cases, the mosques were the operational centers. Catholic churches have been taken over by mosques or converted into mosques.
Yep.
Especially in a lot of these urban areas. So this is what Paul was talking about, what he found as well, and what we found. The paramilitary, these so-called residential centers, or these Muslim or Islamic cities, are actually covering the paramilitary operations of
They're military training centers. We've seen it.
That's the best way to say it. Yeah,
There's military training centers,
yeah.
and they're training kids.
Yeah,
I mean, this was 20 years ago. I can't imagine what
it hasn't
like
changed
today. Yeah,
it's just got more refined.
Somebody sold these asshats an armory. Remember
and
that?
in Buffalo, New York, they did
Buffalo
sell them an armory.
Sold
Literally,
the Muslims an armory.
yeah.
The hell were you thinking?
Yeah.
This is the problem. Everybody says, well, I live next door to a peaceful Muslim. Let me tell you what, when the rubber hits the road, he will slit your throat. And don't you think he won't? They are here to conquer us. They are not here to assimilate. They are not assimilating. They're trying to take over. And what's going on in Epic, Texas? Okay. There's a planned development of over 1,000 homes there. This is nuts. This should not be going on. This should not be allowed. I don't know what you patriots are doing in Texas, but you need to get off your asses.
And the support by the marginalized, in quotation marks, LGBTQIA population of these Islamic centered cities and doctrine, you got to be out of your flipping mind, because they will just soon kill you.
Yes,
and they intend to kill you.
Yeah, this queers for Palestine and all that, they'll kill you dead. That's like chickens for KFC. It's stupid.
And speaking of killing, in Hancock, New York, and I will say this without reservation, we identified graves, that contained bodies, that unregistered deaths in Hancock, or in the Catskill Mountain area. So if you go back, if anyone has ever seen that area or has seen a map of the area, toward the back, toward the I would say the foothill area. If you take a look, there's probably it'd be about the size of a football field. It's cleared, and then there are unmarked graves. I would say probably when we were there, we could identify at least 12, 14 with certainty. But it appeared that there was a lot more. Now, where did they come from? Who was buried there? I don't know.
And what they said about the CIA, and the training, you got to remember Bin Laden and Abdullah Azzam.
Yeah.
They were in Afghanistan. They were also trained by the CIA. And I knew a CIA officer. He told me this to my face. He said, when the war was over, they should have killed Bin Laden. They should have killed him and Azzam. Azzam died in a car bombing in Pakistan. So I believe the CIA did take him out. Unfortunately, Bin Laden, who had all his training and money and munitions, and he did nothing but, all right, after the conflict with Russia was over, Bin Laden focused on the West, and Azzam wanted to focus on Palestine. And that's where they pretty much parted company. Azzam was killed in Pakistan in a car bomb. I'm going to say CIA probably took him out, or Mossad. Bin Laden, however, became more and more powerful. But I want you folks to understand the CIA supported and trained bin Laden.
Oh, I think please understand
a
that.
lot of people don't understand that. You have to understand that. And that's not like a hidden fact. The CIA was fighting a proxy war in Afghanistan against Russia all through the 80s. That's fact. Bin Laden was part of that. CIA worked. They sat in the same tents. They drank together, not drank, sat together, talked together, planned together, trained together. Okay.
And by the way, arguably, Bin Laden was CIA. Was a creature. Was created by the CIA.
Yes, he was. Okay. He was a CIA because
the entire family, actually. But go ahead.
Yeah. And supported by our government. I'm sure they were doing business with the Bin Ladens. I mean, come on, the Bin Ladens were able to fly out on 9/11 when all the other planes on the
actually 9/12. But yeah.
But after 9/11,
yeah,
the planes were grounded, and these guys got to fly out. They were in a meeting with government officials on 9/11. There's no. Yeah. This whole Islam's a peaceful religion is complete bullshit.
And just to be clear, too, on 9/12, 9/13, 14, there were charter flights that were arranged by a PI based out of Florida. I'm not going to name the PI, but you can find that out. And that worked on behalf of Bin Laden's, and there were a couple of federal and state politicians involved in the exfiltration of CIA assets.
Yeah, letting the bastards out of here. Yeah. CIA has been a danger to this country.
And the FBI too had some operational handling of that as well. Yep. So when you and by the way, the entire 9/11 thing. Although look, you cannot deny that the Islamic component, but there was also, admittedly, the nation state of Israel. The Mossad had a working element in 9/11 as well. But don't look. Don't. When I say that, don't say all Jews are bad. Okay. No. Understand what I'm saying. The nation state of Israel had Mossad, part of Mossad was involved, as was the CIA, in the operational parts of 9/11 for their own different reasons. Just so people know that. It's really not a secret.
I'll also say this because I know this, okay? Pre-9/11, we're talking weeks prior, okay? Mossad agents were caught in various government offices that were our government, and they were caught. They're DEA offices. I do know about that.
And they've stolen a crap ton of intelligence from America.
And you guys need to understand something. Everybody says Mossad, and they paint this great big brush. Mossad is much like the CIA. CIA is very compartmentalized. This hand doesn't always know what this hand's doing. And there's rogue components in the CIA. And I believe they're the ones that gave out critical information so 9/11 could be conducted.
Yeah.
So when you say that, you can go, oh, the U.S. government did it. Stop. People within the U.S. government did it. The CIA is very compartmentalized. The left hand doesn't always know what the right hand's doing. It's the same thing with Mossad. Almost every major intelligence agency, and I'm going to say with the lack of the Chinese, they're a little more, everybody's on the same sheet of music out of fear. But Russia's got the same problem. They've got rogue people. Okay? KGB, there's rogue people there. Trust me. Rogue people in the CIA today, to this day.
Yep.
And there's rogue people in the Mossad. And a lot of them have sold out to globalists. And that's why we have problems around the world. War is their currency.
War and chaos, in my view, I don't mean to correct you, just to refine it. I think war, chaos, and the ultimate death of Americans is their objective. Their currency is the children.
The children that's a huge currency,
and the blood of the children.
And I say people within the Central Intelligence Agency are definitely marketing children.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
They are. They use the same routes as the drug routes, and the CIA's been in the drug business forever. I mean, come on. We go into Vietnam. What happens? We have a heroin problem in the United States, right? We go into South America. What happens? We end up with a cocaine problem in the 80s, right? Then we go into Afghanistan. What happens? We end up with another heroin problem in the United States. Gee, that's funny. Everywhere the CIA's been, we have a drug problem.
Yep.
I mean, come on, folks, do the math. I mean, I'm not stupid. I know what was going on in the 80s. I know.
Well, you were part of it.
I was in the, I know. Okay.
I mean, we look.
Take my word for it.
Yeah.
Okay. Just take my word for it. It'll be in my book.
All right. More on that, folks. More on that. All right. Let's continue with Paul Williams. Again, it's only a few more minutes. And then we have another Williams update from that as well. I sent Eric, I sent you the link. But okay, when I say Williams update, I'm talking about the update about the threat that we're seeing right now. But the undergirding of what we're seeing is so important, because if you understand how they have infiltrated and are conquering this country, you'll get how we have to fight them. So, okay, go ahead and resume. And RT, you want to pause it? Just go ahead.
Yep.
Right. I mean, they're all over the place. In Virginia, I visited one in Virginia several times, but they were all what I couldn't put my brain around was why, after the Soviet-Afghanistan war was over, why was the CIA continuing to support Jelani and continuing to sprout these camps up on American soil? And then I came to realize, and this is what really that brought me to Rodney Howard Brown and killing Uncle Sam. I came to realize that the CIA, all of their covert operations, are funded by narcotics, primarily heroin. And heroin has become, the CIA since 1947 never received one dime for its black operations, its covert operations. All that funding came from heroin. So the heroin in Afghanistan became vital for the CIA interest at the end of the Soviet-Afghan war. And Jelani and his, by supporting the Taliban, and these people being trained on our soil, going to Pakistan, and then joining the Taliban, was really to help with the drug trade.
Exactly. And Dr. Williams, let me stop you right there, because this is why, I conducted surveillance and investigation, extensive. As a matter of fact, these are my typed notes from the investigation. I don't know if that could be seen, but I mean, it's actually, there's about 400 type pages, and of course my handwritten notes are elsewhere, but the fact is, photographs, video, typed notes from the surveillance and investigation. We turned it over to the FBI. I know you did. I turned it over to the FBI. In fact, the FBI said, hey, send the report here. So I did that, as you've done with the FBI, with the state police. What happens before the ink is dry on those reports? All of a sudden, the head of the compounds, this network, Sheikh Mubarak Ali Jelani, he knows about the reports. Yeah. He knows about the surveillance. We've been compromised. Yeah. And just weeks later, by the way, there's a picture of my car. I don't know if the camera people can put that car on. After I had given the reports to the FBI, I came out of a courthouse and pressed the FOB, the clicker, whatever that thing is. And that's my car right there on the screen. And now look, I'm just saying, okay, I ain't saying, because I don't know what happened. I had a car fire. It's just pretty interesting days after that. Paul, I didn't mean to dominate this segment, but we only have about 30 seconds. There are about 20 seconds here. In fact, we're going to go to break right now. When we come back, you're going to have the floor. But I just wanted to say, look, the FBI, CIA, they know about this. And as Alex Jones said, and as you've written about, the CIA is involved, the FBI is involved. People say, oh, that's BS. Well, no, we've got the proof. Dr. Paul Williams has got the proof. Get right back, Infowars.com.
You just saw a short excerpt of the full interview we did with this notable awakened human. If you want to see the full
I think you can
interview, go to Infowars.
Yeah, I think that's...
I'm pretty sure I lost a vehicle right around the same time.
You did, and I have well, folks, if you just put an SUV in place of that, his actually melted into the pavement.
Man.
I'm not sure if I...
Yeah, they kept trying to tell me that it was the cruise control switch.
Yeah.
Well, the cruise control switch is located on the left side of the car. Whatever this is originated on the right side, just out of camera range at my residence. And at 2:00 in the morning, I've got a blazing fire out there in the driveway and a neighbor beating on the door. Unbelievable. And I mean, it was so intensely hot, it melted my vehicle into the concrete. Yes. And thank God that night I had my driveway was 2 vehicles wide. And usually I would pull up right next to the garage, right under, the roof of the garage. And that night, for some reason, when I pulled in, I parked far away from the house. I don't remember why, but thank God I did, because when the car got set on fire, and I'll safely say it was set on fire. That was not a cruise control switch. In fact, the insurance guy was like, it's in the wrong spot for a cruise control switch. But burnt. We've got pictures of it somewhere. Just burnt into the pavement. It was so bad the news actually came out in Orlando and interviewed me. They got wind of it. It wasn't your typical vehicle fire. But it's dangerous people we're playing with, and we've let them get a foothold in the United States. They're already got a foothold in Canada. You can't get rid of them, and Canadians don't have any way of getting rid of them anyway. Something's got to stop. Here in the United States, we can't let the country fall to Muslims, communists, and these gangs from East India that are in the country. They made a huge bust here in the U.S. just recently here, like 24 guys out in California. And it's the group that was tied to the Sikh leader. They assassinated one guy up in Canada, a political figure up there. Now, these guys are operating in the United States in drugs, human trafficking, all of it. They're like an East Indian Sikh MS-13. That's what I would compare them to. And they're organized and they're connected. And the U.S. is moving on them. And another batch of bastards that shouldn't be in the country. And ladies and gentlemen, the system has failed us. The system has failed us. And what happens when the system fails you? Here's my question to everyone is, what would our forefathers do given the same situation? Hell, they went to war with England over a whole lot less. And I sit there and I always think, what would the forefathers do? And you know what? I work hard every day to try and walk. So I'm not necessarily going to be confined to a wheelchair. And I'm not putting up with this crap. Okay, Doug can tell you, I'm doing my best to walk. I'm working at it. And I'm slowly getting there. I got my left prosthetic's good. My right one's a training prosthetic, but eventually I'll be able to afford to get the real deal. And don't count me out of the fight. I'm not out of the fight. I've been put down for a little bit because of what happened with my legs, but I ain't out of the fight. I'll just tell you that. Know me. Know what I say. I'm not out of the fight. And Doug is not out of the fight. We've got to do something.
100%.
We cannot rely on the government. Patriots, we got to get together. You've got to band up. You got to I know you've got patriot groups all across this country. I know we've got militias all across this country. Okay? But, you got to be, I have to be real careful what I say. I don't want somebody to arrest me for inciting violence. Okay? The system's failed us. Our justice system has failed us. What's going on in Texas is unforgivable. Okay? Muslims are not, they will never assimilate. Listen to their leaders if you're on social media. They tell you flat out from mosque locations in the United States what the plan is for the United States. The Muslim Brotherhood put this all together years ago, and here's the real shit of it. We got a copy of their plan, and we did nothing. That would be like if the Japanese had called us and said, hey, we're coming on the 7th, and we did nothing. Do you understand what I'm saying? And this is serious. This is very, very, very serious. I'm speaking from my heart, man. We're in trouble. We're in serious trouble. And we can all blab about it and talk about it. The talk's only going to go so far, ladies and gentlemen. And I know you know Muslims in your community. Don't be fooled by them. Do not be fooled by them. Educate yourself on Islam. Pick up a copy of the Quran. Okay? What they spout out in public about Islam being a peaceful religion is BS. They're practicing taqiyya. They're lying to you, and they're allowed to do that to further the spread of Islam. Okay? Know it. Familiarize yourself where the mosques are. Sit out there on a Friday and watch. I do it. I park down from the mosque and I watch them. I know a lot about them. Yeah. Do it. Educate, educate, educate. Read and learn. Do not accept their lies. The ones that say we're peaceful are lying to you. If you know anything about the religion, it's about submission and conquer. And their job, one day they're going to turn on us and kill us, and you have to understand this. You have to understand this. Please take my word for it. We studied these people for years. We were in counterterrorism for years. These are not peaceful people. I don't give a damn what they say. And we've got to get together. We've got to get together and do something. Something has to be done.
And I have to say this, I was looking, and thanks for taking that. I was looking for your vehicle because much more, even more dramatic than mine. But yeah, it's in the drive. I just can't find it. But yeah, it's just crazy.
Earth to a crisp.
Yeah.
Could have set the house on fire.
Yeah. It was
could have set the house on fire.
But see, this is... Remember too, in Chautauqua Institute, Jack Cashel spoke there and then was disinvited, but Salman Rushdie spoke at Chautauqua and actually was attacked. I don't know how many people remember that.
Yes.
Attacked and stabbed.
Yep. For writing a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what made me think of that. But so to RT's point about all this is Eric Tech, if you have the picture that I sent, I'm not sure though. I sent a link and a photograph to kind of I don't even know how to describe this. This is me being notified, or this was the notification I got of the fatwa. And this was against me by Jelani, and it was published in this newspaper. I don't know if you can actually, yeah, there it is right there. That's me in New York. A little younger me, I guess, right? In New York.
Way younger.
Yeah. Hard to believe this was like 20 years ago. Anyway, just thought, thank you, Eric. I just thought I'd show that. But you know, little did I know what, or RT, I mean, both of us, little did we know what that meant. I mean, we knew what it meant, but that it was going to, touch us in ways we had really no idea. So anyway, so video 2, this is a different, I think this is a discussion Paul Williams had with me on this show, or I'm not even sure. I think it was this platform, I should say. So let's roll this just for a little bit and kind of conclude this part with this video, if that makes sense, man. I don't know. This is kind of off the cuff a little bit, but I think it's important for people to really, again, understand, like RT was saying about the infiltration and what's going on.
And the government lying to you, bold-faced lying to you. Do you remember Condoleezza Rice getting up? The one with you could stick a popsicle stick between her teeth? That one. And getting up and saying, Islam's a peaceful religion. Islam's a peaceful religion. George Bush too. George Bush saying, Islam's a peaceful religion. I had to slap him upside his head. This is they lied to you. They lied and opened the door.
I think our insurance companies would beg to differ, but okay. Yeah.
This is we have been invaded.
Yeah.
Think about it. If this was the Japanese, if this was the Germans, what would our forefathers do? Please think about that. That should be the last thought on your mind tonight before you go to sleep. What would our forefathers do?
Or the founders of our country? They had balls, right?
Yeah. They actually had nuts.
They were nuts, had balls.
Balls. Rhino balls. I like it. Brass balls, whatever you want to call it.
Sweaty balls.
They had the guts that it takes to defend this nation.
Amen.
And we're just sitting there watching it go to hell. It's so wrong of us. God gave us a fantastic gift. It is our job to protect it, nourish it, make it grow, be an example for the world. Not sit back and let them just infiltrate us and invade us and walk us to the guillotine. This is ridiculous.
One state, I think one state is introducing legislation to make all Muslim holy days, holidays. I think it's in California.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A Christian country, right? All right.
Yeah.
If you can hit video 2, I'll just play this for a little bit. I think this is the other one too that discusses the. Well, we'll all be surprised. Go ahead and hit video 2.
Guest, or he's an author of the Day of Islam, and in fact, a chapter of the Day of Islam. Dr. Paul Williams was devoted to my investigation of Islamberg. And he's scheduled to come on right now. We're having a little bit of a situation getting him on. But we got him? Okay. I had first met him back in, I think it was 2005. Dr. Paul Williams, Judy McLeod up in Toronto. We met up there in Toronto. And I've got to tell you, this guy is one smart cookie. Not only smart, he's a prolific author. He's a great author. His book, The Day of Islam, The Annihilation of America and the Western World, has never been more relevant than it is today. It's available on Amazon. I know that it's in my office. Before I ran into the studio, I didn't grab it. He's got a book he's got a book titled Operation Gladio, and so on. If you just search, and we'll put, it's already in the program description, Paul L. Williams, but definitely his books, you grab a hold of his books. Operation Gladio is amazing, but the Day of Islam is absolutely amazing. Of course, why wouldn't it be? I'm in there, right? Crescent Moon Rising, another right on the money book. But Amazon.com for Dr. Paul Williams. Dr. Paul Williams, are you with us?
I'm with you. I can't believe, Doug, I am talking to you after all these years.
I know, isn't it something, brother? I'll tell you.
I don't know if everyone should be. I don't know if they're really aware. You are the best investigator I have ever met in my life, And I've met a lot of them.
You can advance that.
Because of you. And there are a lot of people who would like to say, I just want to say that on your show. Yeah. I prevailed. I won. But everybody with me that should have been right behind me caved in. My publisher caved in. Joseph Farah caved in. All these people just caved in, and they said, "Oh yeah, we're sorry." And I just want your listeners, because we have the same audience, to know that I never caved in, and I stood up to them. It cost me a fortune, but I prevailed in the end. What I discovered at that trip when I met you was right on the money.
You
and
identified.
They were planning to.
Yeah, God, I'm sorry.
Blow Parliament.
I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead and restate that, because I think it's so important, which you were about to say, that I interrupted. Go ahead and finish.
Yeah, well, we were up there, if you recall, because you were part of this original investigation, looking into Adnan al-Shukr Juma. And you were up there. I think really at that time at my behest, because I reached out to you because you were the number one I knew that you had your finger on radical Islam, what was taking place throughout the United States and throughout Canada, and I think it was because of me you went up there.
Yes,
I might be wrong, but
no, it was
anyhow.
Yep.
Yeah, and anyhow, as a result of that meeting, I did find that nest. But at the end of the day, I really got. I was dealing with. This suit, Doug, was the cost of the lawyers. My Canadian lawyers would call me up and they would say, "How are you doing today, Paul? We hope everything's okay. How are you doing with your wife? How are you doing with your writings?" And then they would hang up. After about 10 or 15 minutes, they would charge me for the phone. They would charge me for the preparation of an email, the transmission of an email. They were the biggest. My worst enemies were not the jihadis up there. They were my own lawyers. And it was just a one heck of an experience. But through it all, there is Doug Hagmann, who has never wavered. And I can't say that about many others. I consider you one of my... You're one of the few people that I have associated with that I truly respect.
Well, that means a lot to me, because I do know that you went through hell with that legal suit. And folks, let me tell you something. You Dr. Williams, you won, you prevailed, but it cost you so much. And see, this is what people don't understand. Because anybody can sue anybody for anything.
Anything.
Right. And I'll tell you something. And there will be a point, ladies and gentlemen, when I will tell our listeners things that you don't know. Our listeners don't know. But there are some things going on. But see, tens of thousands of dollars you expended on that suit. 100,000.
Oh, Doug, yeah, and not only that, but it's like devastating for your family. And even if you're right, and I was totally right, the pressure on you to buckle under,
yep.
And the pressure from your publisher, because I make money by writing. The pressure on my publisher, my literary agent deserted me, and it was really tough. But thankfully, for people like you who have always reviewed my books and given me wonderful plugs, thanks to you, I have prevailed. Operation Gladio was just sold to American Movie Classics.
I heard that, and I wasn't sure if that was a real, because we haven't spoken. I wasn't sure if that was true or not. I thought, great for you, man. That's well worth it.
Oh yeah, wow. Yeah,
okay.
And a couple of things I really would like to talk to you about, Doug, mainly about Islamberg and what I found out in the aftermath. If we could spend some time talking about that.
Yes, because people don't, and this is where you're the expert in this. And folks, let me tell you something, okay? Paul Williams had the balls, and I'm saying that on Christian radio here, to go into the very places
that we ran covert surveillance where we heard the sound of automatic weapons. We saw the bus full of bullet holes. We saw and let me tell you, none of these are nice people, but you had the guts to go in there. So you go ahead, sir. The floor is yours.
I went in there a couple times, Doug. But one thing about you were in there first, but afterwards, these compounds throughout the country were set up by Gilani, as you know, Sheikh Mubarak Gilani from Pakistan.
Right.
Well, I went to Brooklyn. He had the Yasin Mosque in Brooklyn. I learned from Northeast Intelligence how to do these things. To go right back to the source and the original. So I went there. I was in Brooklyn, and several times, as a matter of fact. And I spoke to members of his mosque. I spoke to people, the people right from the Muslims of the Americas in New York. They all believe. Get this, Doug, that they're working for the CIA.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and guess what?
Yeah.
They are.
They
are.
Thank you. Yes, they are.
They are. That's what I was figuring that, the real people who are perpetuating the jihad is the deep state.
Yes.
Our we're doing it.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. Jelani, I was wondering, how could they be protected? How could a place like this prevail? How could the FBI go up there and have a picnic? I could never understand it. But I went there, and I spoke to several people that as I said, that were affiliated with Jelani. And I got some wonderful literature from them testifying that Jelani is a CIA operative, and he was brought here by the CIA, along with blind Sheikh Hagmann.
Yes.
They were both transported here by the CIA to recruit black Muslims for the jihad, and they're still funded by them.
They are, and they're working in tandem with domestically with many of the FBI, but the money is being funded through the deep state from the CIA. You're absolutely right, and I'll tell you this: two things. Number one, Sheikh Jelani still has that religious statement against me. Posted on his website. I don't know. It's like 5 pages where on Muslims of America's website, and I got a visit not too long after the report was published. Well, you know what, Paul? I published my report, gave it to the FBI, and the ink wasn't even dry on the report on the compound in Hancock, New York. And I got 2 FBI agents that came to my door who had the report. Jelani had the report himself, and the 2 FBI agents says, if I were you, I'd really increase your security because you're poking at a bear, and have a nice night. And my wife was like,
exactly. Well, I don't know if Doug. One other thing I have to say to you, and this is because we've been involved in the same work for probably 15 years. Most people that I hear on programs like this who claim to be counter-terrorist or terrorism experts, and you know the list, and a lot of them have made a fortune on this, have never met a terrorist. Never met it, but they're counter-terrorism experts. They're on the talk shows. They're on Fox News. They're all over the place.
That's right.
Your listeners, and we should do something together, because you and I mean, we've been there.
You've looked, and folks, this guy, Paul Williams, has looked terrorists square in the eye. He's found terrorists and turned over information where, Dr. Williams, I'm not even sure how you're still...
My name is Paul to you, Doug. We're friends.
I know.
You don't call me doctor.
No. Okay,
no,
all right, Paul,
no,
but I'm going to tell you, the listeners need to know you're well-credentialed. But I got to tell you, I just don't know how you have had a bullseye on your back by both sides, by the deep state and by the terrorists now for a number of years. And I'm going to make our listeners a promise. We are going to be releasing information and about all of this. But folks, Dr. Paul Williams' books, Amazon, worth every cent.
Okay, you can cut that.
Plus,
right there.
I mean, they're worth.
So Operation Gladio is the a lot of what we're seeing right now is from Gladio. And if you haven't gotten that book, if you haven't seen that book, that came out in 2017. And the importance of this, the fact that this has never stopped, it has just been reincarnated and refashioned. The fact that Dr. Williams had just like RT, just like Randy Taylor, what we've been doing in the I can't say I'm in. I cannot say I'm. Well, I can say this. Randy Taylor has been in the counterterrorism field for a long time, and he's made extreme inroads behind the scenes. And finding what he's found connects directly back to our own government, and that is something that's a little bit. It shakes the foundational beliefs. Go ahead, RT.
It's scary. It's scary. Hey, I found pictures of the vehicle, the burnt vehicle. I sent them to Eric. But it was pretty well. It was, you know what? We've had threats on our lives, and it's been many times. And I had one situation where they were talking about putting a bomb under my air conditioner because it was right outside of my master bedroom. That's when I lived in a mobile home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. There's I can name, and then that's when I really had to step up security because I was like, I don't know how they were able to track me, but somewhere there was a flaw.
It wasn't a flaw; it was a design, and I think you were tossed to the wolves.
Yeah, I think that was set up.
Yeah,
because my security, I mean, just the firewall that I had. This is back in the day. The firewall that I had, if you managed to get past that IP address, I had 1,600 IP addresses on there. So I just couldn't figure out how the hell, because I was always, my security was uptight, man. I mean, I was playing with bad guys. Trust me, I had a family. Always top-notch security on the internet. And next thing I knew, they were describing my home on a jihadist forum.
Oh, yeah.
My mobile home and where to put the bomb, because when it went off, it would kill me because my master bedroom was at the tail end of the trailer.
But did that stop you? No.
No, it pissed me off.
That's right.
You're to come bring it home. Man. You see down there where they that's the least of the damage.
I was going to say
there's a couple more really good photos.
That looks too good.
Yeah. Eric, if you can put the other ones up.
Put that, yeah. There you go. Now we're talking. There you go.
Yeah. Burnt to a crisp. And look at the next one's at the inside of the vehicle. And it was, this wasn't a cruise control switch. The insurance guy came out, looked at it. He goes, man, this isn't everything is in the wrong place. And there was just no other explanation for it except somebody set the truck on fire. They put something up near the hood. They think it was in the fender well. So, but this is what you play with. And then you look at it again. This is a different time. And I'm like, how would they know to find me unless somebody threw me out there?
Yes. And I think that was the conclusion.
Yeah. And it's just really, there were scary times. I mean, you always had to look over your shoulder. You had to always be armed, it was crazy. It was crazy.
That's, yeah.
And, I will say this, the local sheriff's department and all, I don't know if I had a red mark next to my name in the computer, but any kind of weird stuff at my house, I left. One night my truck door was open, which I know I didn't leave it open, but a deputy was knocking on my front door. I opened the front door and I looked down there and I had sheriff's deputy cars on both sides of the street and a helicopter overhead. Yep. For an open car door. They were watching me. They were looking after me. So I don't know. I had some friends there because I never introduced myself at the sheriff's department doing what I did. But somehow I had friends there. But it was scary. It's scary because you endanger your family. And if there's a flaw, you can do everything you want to secure yourself. I had cameras and everything. And how did they know the blind side on my camera? You know what I'm saying? I had like 11 cameras on my residence.
That was the other thing.
Only I knew how to leave the residence.
Yeah. Without
and not be on camera. Only I knew that. Because everything was interlocked. All my fields were interlocked on the cameras. I had a security expert set everything up, worked like a charm. Same thing in my business. Somehow, someone got to the truck without being on camera. I'm like, how did they know that they could come in at that angle? You know? And trucks don't just catch on fire at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Well, come on, man. Come on, man.
I know. Unbelievable.
Yeah. But okay, so.
And this is religious. These are peaceful people. Yeah. Yeah. And here we are. Okay, so setting this up, I mean, from which really chat inspired to go back to the Islamic compounds and then to talk about Operation Gladio with Dr. Williams, who I'll tell you what knows a lot. I mean, he really really laid it out. And it's frightening about the government operational control over the flow of terrorists into this country. So here we are. Now we've got how many operational cells or how many operational Muslims do you think there are in the U.S.? And RT, tell me about the integration between Antifa and the Islamic terrorists and the integration between the communists, the Islamic terrorists, and Antifa and the trans. Yep. And what are we seeing? They're all working together. They all work together because it's towards the overthrow of the United States. Same thing with Black Lives Matter. All of these groups. But we know for sure, and I just suspect on Black Lives Matter, we do know Antifa works with the communists and that the communists are working with the Muslims. Tie it all together.
Well, okay.
With the same end goal.
Black Lives Matter, I think we have proved that they are the communist platform.
Yes. Look at the fist in their logo.
Right.
And look at the fist in any communist manifestos, anything you see. They're all tied together, ladies and gentlemen. Do not be fooled by these people.
The only thing that happened with Black Lives Matter that kind of took them down a few notches was the fraud in the using of the money for personal enrichment, which really pissed off a lot of people within the group.
Yeah.
So,
but that's so communist. That's so Marxist. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
It's right out of the playbook.
Yeah. Yeah. So now you've got now here we are, kind of with the international flavor too, with Trump bearing down on Iran, saying, "Hey, we're in a." What would you say at the beginning of the show, or maybe it's off air?
Yeah, there's a video, Eric. There's a video we've got there. I accidentally said Trump's warning to Turkey. It's not. It's Trump's warning to Iran, but he says it quite nicely in there. What the plans for Iran are if they don't come to the table immediately with a peaceful solution. Okay, so if you got that video, that would be a good one to play because Trump, as usual, is short and to the point. And this is good. Listen to this, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Look, we're going to win one way or the other. We're either going to make a deal or we're going to finish the job, okay? And it won't be tough to finish the job. I'd rather make a deal because I don't want to affect 91 million people. We can knock down their bridges in 1 hour. We can knock out their energy supply, all of those big plants that they built, big, beautiful, modern plants. They had a lot of money. They don't have any money now. We haven't given them any money. But we can knock out their electricity and power generating plants in, I would say, a small part of an afternoon. Every plant will be gone. And they know that. Look, we're going to...
That's serious. And he means it, and he could. We can level him. We were hoping that the Iranian people would step it up and overthrow this government. I mean, they did it back in 79 when they tossed the government. So they have the ability to do it. Will people die? Yes, they will. But that's the cost of freedom. People are going to die. That's the way it is. And I mean, I'm not being, cavalier about people dying. No, not by any stretch of the imagination. History proves that. History. People, read the history. My daughter, I'm so proud of her because she knows her history. And Doug had a chance to talk with her.
Oh, let me tell you something. She is one intelligent. She's not to be trifled with. I'll tell you that. She's a young lady
she's the future, man.
Yeah.
Those are going to be the ones that save us. Those are going to be ones that inspire us.
Our discussion about history, I mean, I was astounded, impressed.
She's sharp, man. That's her favorite. Oh, she's like a sponge when it comes to history. She tells me things I never knew, and history's always been my thing. History's Doug's thing, and that kid was educating us.
Oh yeah, yeah. I said, whoa. Yeah, it's just.
We were
talking about the UN and
facts,
Oh yeah,
and she just blah 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 blah, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so proud of her. She's such a smart kid.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what, congratulations on just a wonderful daughter. But I'll tell you what, between Papa Bear and Mama Bear, nobody better get around them, and that's nobody better threaten her. But I'll say something.
And that's another thing, Doug, is our women and our children are in danger.
That's kind of where I was going with this. If I think people are going to have to realize, or if everyone does realize this, I think we collectively are going to have to. What do we need to do, RT? Because
we need to either get them out of the country or put them in the ground.
Well, not our women.
No, I'm talking about the enemy.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. We're us veterans. The enemy is the enemy is the enemy. And anybody that threatens our way of life is the enemy. And we trained at one time to deal with these people. And we're going to it's going to come down to it. Don't think it's not. It will. And what they're doing to the women and children, I know up north, it's really bad. Then they get away with it. There was recently in Western Canada, just recently, last few days or something, maybe a week ago, a group of women got separated from the tour group they were with, and they were down by the water admiring it and all. And a group of Muslim men went down and tried to, well, and he said, they put it this way, some of the girls got stabbed. One of them got cut up pretty good, but they were threatening them sexually. This is what we're dealing with. And I'm going to tell you something right now. Somebody says it's my daughter, there will be a race war because I'll start it. I don't give a damn about these Muslims. They come from places where they can do this to women. You don't come here and do it, and don't do it in Canada. You need to knock it off. The crap that's going on in the UK. We don't want that. These Muslim rape gangs and grooming gangs. We don't want them operating in the United States. They're already operating up in Canada. Fact.
Yeah.
I'm not lying. It's in the news.
No, I mean, I get that.
We know it. Yeah.
How do we?
You know what to do, Doug, and we say it on the air, though.
No. I wasn't. That's not where I was going with this. You have Walz, for example, governor of Minnesota, who is a communist who, has allowed the Somalians, the Somali community,
and Keith Ellison.
Okay, you have enemies.
This is what Doug was talking about earlier about the prosecutors have to be in the fight.
Yeah,
Keith Ellison is compromised.
Whew.
Painfully obvious. You don't see Somalis going to jail. And funny, when he was AG and when he was a congressman, we were finding Somalis over in Africa in Al-Qaeda training camps that were from Minneapolis.
Yeah.
That's not just random.
You had identified by name numerous people.
Yeah.
Numerous men.
Ellison is a bad man. Yeah. He's a very bad man. and why he's being allowed to operate and why the FBI haven't arrested him, he should be in prison.
So that's the look. Here we have President Trump. We have Kash Patel. Bongino's gone back to his, cubbyhole in Florida.
Making money.
Making money, right? I guess a year was all he wanted to do.
What a waste of time. What a waste of time.
Yeah, really.
For a year, really.
So, okay. I think we have to address this problem. And by the way, Mitch McConnell, come on, man.
Yeah.
Mitch McConnell, right?
This guy's been in the hospital for 3 weeks, We got, who was it, Jennings? Who was it that just gave a report on him? Said he talked to him for like
Scott
20 minutes.
I mean, come on. Are you friggin' serious?
Yeah. Yeah. And I understand from sources that Mitch McConnell's Chinese wife, when he went in the hospital, she flew to China.
Yes, and has not the House. Just so people understand, McConnell's in the hospital, right? Now McConnell, let's see, is he a Democrat or Republican?
Huh. Well, right, he's uniparty, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's okay.
He's a traitor. He is a traitor to what Trump's doing. He's one of the people that voted against the Save America Act.
Right, and his wife is Elaine Chao, former transportation secretary, of course. But anyway, so he goes into the hospital. She goes over to meet with the Chinese, vice president, I don't know why, to get orders apparently, and hasn't been seen at the house since. Not the hospital, not the house. What's that about? Yep. Okay. So what the hell? And here we have this alleged Republican majority Congress.
Yep.
That hasn't done a damn thing about anything.
Yep.
Okay. And never had their nuts on a line. Half of those, or most of those people, doing the crap that in the fields that we've done.
McConnell should have been forced to retire years ago. If this isn't one of the best poster childs for term limits, then I can't come up with one because this guy's a loser.
Yeah.
Okay. And if he doesn't come back, I don't give a damn. I hope he doesn't. I don't care. I don't care about the guy at all. He has turned on the country. He is not Republican. I don't give a damn about Mitch McConnell. He might as well be with the enemy because as far as I'm concerned, he is the enemy.
And so, which brings me to, I was thinking about this earlier when I had some clarity of thought in amongst the shucking and jiving with the cops and anyway, remember Antonia Scalia, okay, his death, and it wasn't that an interesting set of circumstances surrounding his death as well as the timing of it all?
That should have been investigated really seriously. I feel he was murdered.
And so look at the composition of SCOTUS today and look at how we got here again. And then you see a lot of common, not just the pattern, but a number of common figures involved in the setting this up. And to again, back to your point about the various groups, the communist groups and such. Mm-hmm. You've got Neville Roy Singham, the CCP assets living in Shanghai. You've got the Soros family here, and then you've got all of the other financial NGOs financing all of these groups. But we have not done a damn thing to really neuter these groups.
And Soros is very instrumental in corrupting and compromising DAs all across the country.
100%.
Because you go back and look at the financing. Why are the NGOs that are funded by Soros turn around and funding these DAs, and then they turn their back on crime being committed by Muslims, East Indians, and gangsters from down south? Explain that to me. That's bought and paid for by the elites. Anybody that says that it isn't is full of shit, because it is. When the DAs don't prosecute, when it's handed to them on a platter by the police, you got a problem. You got a real problem. The system has failed us, ladies and gentlemen. It's just like these activist judges. This is crap what these judges do, telling the president, you can't do this and you can't do that. Well, I'd yank them right off the bench. Some things have got to change or we're going to lose this country.
I think
things have to change.
And this past 4th of July, to hear some of the commentators on the one that Lula, I don't know, Fufu, that whack job, saying the flyovers, it was like an apocalypse,
People don't realize we are standing on the edge looking into the abyss.
Yeah, we're circling right.
That's where we're at. We are staring into the abyss, but we know what's out there. We have an advantage. Man, Dick, we should put it on the site, the Muslim Brotherhood, the project. I know you've got it. I've got it. People need to read that. It comes in a document where the first 14 pages are in Arabic. Then it's translated. Stephen Emerson did a lot of that. I'd love to get him on the show and talk about this.
That was 1992 that was published, right?
Yeah. But it was found. It was found in a hotel where they had a meeting. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's the battle plan of the Muslim Brotherhood and what they're going to do to the United States and exactly how they're going to take them over peacefully and with terrorist acts. They say it. They describe everything they're doing. We were warned. We were warned. We did nothing. We let them in. We let them in.
To what extent did Mayorkas? Okay, so Mayorkas as DHS secretary, which just it hurts my head to even think about DHS as an entity. I don't think that ever should have been created now, but to have Mayorkas as that the head of DHS,
so corrupt, Doug.
Right,
bought and paid for a man that we know he had a price. I don't give a damn. I would tell a president to stick it up his ass if he told me to make sure that all these people could just walk into the country. Well, I would have been fired.
He's a Cuban communist. Okay, yeah. So I mean, he's on board with that.
Yes.
So, but again, we have the opportunity to go after all of these people in a legal sense, but no one is doing anything. Congress has the opportunity ability and the duty to go after to rein in these judges.
Yep. They're not doing a damn thing.
No.
And I mean, look at Congress. Look at what you got with this Ilhan Omar. She should not be in Congress. That Rashida Tlaib, she should not be in Congress. These people that talk against the United States and promote their own countries should not be in Congress. And if you weren't born here, your ass should never see the inside of that unless you're being questioned.
And that also goes for dual citizenship with Israel or any other country. I don't give a damn.
Absolutely.
Israel is, no. And look, I don't know much about this integration with the Israeli military. Do you know much about this?
No, sir.
Okay. I mean, I know enough that I know I shouldn't talk about it because, not because I have an aversion to talk about it, but I don't know. I mean, I know enough not to know enough to talk about it, if you know what I mean.
Right. We can't speak intelligently about it.
Exactly.
It's a nice way to put it.
Now, is there a problem? Absolutely. But I'm not sure who's behind it, I'm not sure the ins and outs of this.
No, we don't know the extent or the depth. We do not know.
That's wrong.
Yep. Our military shouldn't be integrated with anybody.
No.
Israel could stir up enough shit of their own over there. We don't need to be. They don't need it. This. I don't ever want to be a tool for evil. Sorry. That have Israeli uniforms on that I don't like. I'm seeing things, okay, and we're hearing things. So I don't ever want to be a tool for the wrong thing. I don't want our government there. I don't want our troops in that kind of harm's way. I'm always support our troops. No matter what, I support our troops. I love our military. They're the greatest people in the world, except for the fruitcakes and all three. Yeah.
Well, and when you were talking about the various members of the U.S. House and Senate too, I'm thinking about the states, the various states. We have, on what planet is it okay to have these mentally deficient, mentally problematic, trans people in state, in positions of state power? When's that okay?
I don't even know how that son of a bitch got in there. We're talking about the same one.
Well, yeah, but there's the
whole trans thing. If they're doing that, man, you're mental. These people are mentally ill. They need counseling. They need help. They shouldn't be making any laws for anybody. They are not qualified.
Well, they're mentally ill,
therefore not qualified.
Yeah.
They have no business being there. You wouldn't put Charles Manson or some of these crazy people. Like, would you put Pee Wee Herman in Congress? You know what I mean?
Are you telling me he wasn't a congressman?
But you know what I'm saying? What happened to that being a respectable position? Now it's a freaking joke. And a bad one because we're paying the price. And then you find out they've got this whole marketing thing set up and they're making millions, man. These people are making millions and it's legal and it's got to stop because they're taking the jobs for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And nobody should go in there and on a $200,000 salary or $240,000 or whatever it is. And then 4 years later, they're worth millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. That's called payoffs. They're bought and paid for, and they're doing insider trading. And here's the shit of it. They know about the deals and market deals and things like that have to be approved. They know about it ahead of time, and they call their broker. And then you wonder, like, overnight, look at Nancy Pelosi. She's worth what? $200 million? That's
I don't know, but we need to take another look at her. What's her beer?
Paul.
Paul, yeah,
and she's married to. Yeah,
it's Hammer Time.
Yeah, he got a hit and run. He's getting a hit and run charge because he nailed a parked car and took off. This guy shouldn't be driving anywhere. He's dangerous.
Oh, he's driving, or is he receiving? I don't know. Is he catching or
no, I'm not sure. I think if it's a little boy, he's probably pitching. I don't know, Doug. He's a sick. I'm going to tell you what. And Nancy Pelosi, another great excuse. That's another argument for term limits. She made her first millions with a Coca-Cola deal, like back in the 70s or something.
That was in Frisco. Is that Francisco? With crap. Yes.
It was Coca-Cola tied us and Coca-Cola stock. But the point is, these people are not there to make money. They're there to help develop and set rules for a nation that needs it badly.
Yep.
And they're supposed to be pro-American, not pro-Somalia. You like Somalia so much, and take your little scrawny little black ass back there. Because I'm tired of hearing about it, Missy. And you lied to get in here. You falsified documents. You married your brother. What kind of sick puppy does that?
And again, we have to address this because we're not seeing any kind of action at all.
I mean, Trump says something about it. She fires back, and then he just shuts up. We've got the documentation. It's been made public. It's online. It was released. It's enough to prosecute her. And nobody's doing anything.
Yeah.
So I said at the beginning of the show, the system's broken. The system is broken. The people they've failed us.
Now, going back to what we said at the beginning of the show, as we close right now, the things that we are doing as a platform, and God bless, again, thank you for all of you who support us and support Randy. I'm going to talk momentarily here in a moment, going to mention that. But for what we're doing, there's two areas. Well, there's multiple areas, but a few areas that just want to wrap up with this to let you know. The things that we can change, and we are changing, is assisting in rescuing children who are in environments like, for example, near Columbus, Ohio, the cider situation. Did you see that? It's more than a situation. It's a horrific nightmare for the kids. There's that. There are things like that. We can make a difference there as a platform. This is, folks, this is what, the reason I'm mentioning this is because this is what you, by being here night after night, and thank you to the people in the chat for being here night after night.
You have a fantastic, the people that follow the show are fantastic. I love you guys. I get great emails, support from you folks. I love our listeners. We have got some of the greatest people in the world listening to us.
And you know what? I know. Look, I know the chat's been rocky. You know, there are some people in there that just want to create division. We're gonna get some moderation in there and clean that up because I'm tired of the same people.
Well, that is on purpose.
Well, of course it is.
There's people that want to destroy this platform.
Yeah, it's welcome. Hey. Yeah. Welcome to the party. Yeah. But thank you for understanding. And, you know, so we can make differences in the lives of children. Thank God and thank you for allowing us to do that. And Randy Taylor's a big part of that. Eric the Tech's a big part of that. Thank you for allowing us to investigate the boots on the ground into the Islamic threat. And actually, there are certain investigations that we're going to be talking to you about and disclosing here that we've been pretty quiet about. That y'all don't know, but you'll know.
And we're gonna bring in some videos too of these people in the mosque that are talking, that are quite open about what the plans for the United States are.
In fact,
I'm gonna dig a bunch of them up.
Yeah, we've got some from our own assets elsewhere that have not appeared on anywhere else. So thank you for that, and we're going to be doing that. Yeah. And folks, in the chat here, I'll tell you what, I'm going to ask this question, and then the subjects that you want to hear more on, please, I'll tell you what, put it in the comments. I do read the comments section under the video, or put it in the chat now, because we've got to go. But let us know the topics you'd like us to address specifically and in depth.
And would you like to see more counterterrorism data?
Fruits of our investigative labors, I guess, would be a better.
Yeah.
No one wants to see data. Well,
that's what it is.
Yeah.
We have a big fight against it. You know, we've got a big enemy in front of us. But we can kick their asses. I know we can.
Yeah,
I'm talking legally. There's ways to do it. Listen, there's ways to fight these people. There's ways to do it. Hey, I remember down in Florida when there was a problem down there and they were building and going crazy and all that. I made a couple of phone calls. Next thing you know, they couldn't build jack shit.
And that's the other thing too.
I'm talking about.
Libraries. If folks, go into your libraries, audit your libraries, your county libraries, city libraries, whatever they might be, county libraries, audit them. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're doing that as well.
Yep.
You would not believe what you would find with these librarians. Mm-hmm. There's a librarian association that's really gone off the rails.
Yeah. Another thing, you go like if you see these Muslims building their communities, go on the job sites, look around, grab a set of prints, and see if it matches what they're actually building. If it doesn't, blueprints right out of the permit box. Grab them, see if it's what they're building. If it doesn't match, call the building department.
And if you can't get anything there, then call us.
I'll light a fire under somebody's ass.
There you go.
I promise it. I know how to deal with this crap legally. I know exactly how to do it, but we all got to get involved in it. And if all of us are sitting on their shoulder and watching everything they do, they will pack up and leave. And we'll run them out. I'll walk them to the dock and stick them on the boat.
That's one thing I'll say this. They're not, they're scared easy. They scare easily.
Mm-hmm.
Along with their handlers, too.
They're wussies at heart. And let me tell you something. Just because I have this, probably can't see it. Just because I'm stuck to this doesn't mean I'm out of the fight. I'm not. I'm learning to walk as Doug. I'm walking and
impressive, actually. Like I said, Steve,
I push myself. I push
Man.
I push myself every day because I've got to be physically fit for the fight that's coming.
Yeah.
And listen, the groups, militia groups, and all, we need to start getting together, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll say this:
there's millions of us. There's millions of us.
If Randy Taylor can do it, and I saw him. Look, he's great tonight. I saw him at his. He was great. But I'll tell you what, he had a couple of rough days too. So
I have bad days.
Yeah,
I have bad days where I feel like I'm almost dead. You know, but I fight and I come
2 days
back.
ago, you looked like you were going to die.
That's what my wife said. She looked like death warmed over, and I couldn't leave, even go meet with Doug. I was in that bad of shape.
Yeah,
and I just have days like that. But hey, I'm in this fight, and ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the people.
Give your fund out there.
Okay, I've got 2 email addresses you can use through PayPal. Okay, and you can go there, and it's rt.recoveryfund@gmail.com or help4rt@gmail.com. But you can go to PayPal. It's posted in the show notes. And ladies and gentlemen, the folks that have helped me, you have no idea how good it feels to be able to pay off bills that I didn't think we were going to be paid. And I thought we were going to start losing things.
Yeah, I can't believe. So I'll say this:
I love you people.
Wow. Just so thank you for. Yeah, I didn't say a word except I was just astounded by the fact that the what he had to do to even get those legs.
And the one's still temporary. So I mean, it's just a difficult. And everybody, let me tell you what, free healthcare is bullshit. They'll cut your leg off, kick you out the door, and that's the end of it.
Although they will give you a bonus if you cut your sex
if
organs
I kill
off.
myself, well, yeah. If I wanted to do a sex change, there's $75,000 sitting there for me, no questions asked. Yeah, cut off a weenie, $75,000. Cut off a leg, not a dime. I'm just telling you, it's nuts. You have no idea. And people want, we should have free healthcare in the United States. No. Socialized medicine is nothing but a slow death march.
And the VA has to be revamped too.
Yeah, and I'm still working on that.
Yeah.
Because of military things from way back. And it's a long story with me in the military. It's a very long story.
I'll tell you what, for those who know, think of Kevin Shipp. Okay, his situation as a CIA officer is very similar to what RT went through. If you know the story of Kevin Shipp, you know the story of Randy Taylor.
It's the way it is, and that's why it's a struggle every
flock
day.
cameras. The flock cameras are being deflocked, and we need to continue that. Thank you, thank you.
Yes,
yes, we have to address that as well. In your area, make sure you follow, or make sure you go to deflock.org, and that's a great asset. All right, that's it. We got to go. Thank you, RT. And man, I'll tell you what, you sound better, look better than you did the other night. So,
oh boy,
yeah. But folks, thanks for joining us. God bless each and every one of you. And from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate your support of the platform. Thank you. Please tell others about this, and hype this up on social media. Give us a like if you don't mind, or follow, or whatever. Thumbs up, isn't that? Yeah, thumbs up. And if you think we're worth it, if not, no worse.
We're on X too. Okay. Randy Taylor _USA.
And I don't know what mine is. I think it's Hagmann PI or something like that.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Hey, folks, have a great night. Till tomorrow. God bless.
God bless you and thank you.